Japan is on the bucket list. I've always followed their racing. I love it. I don't know, there's something about their country that I've always just had a bit of a love for. So hopefully that will come to fruition. There, Hong Kong maybe. Then we start finding everywhere else.
I had to fight the traffic to get here, so I'm a little aggravated and I'm ready to rumble with the man on my left. Everybody's asking, why the loud shirt? Why the pink shirt? What's the matter with you? Pink. They obviously all missed the memo that this is Ladies' Month. It's Ladies' Month. We all know it's Ladies' time all the time and we're happy about that. But this is Ladies' Month. That's why I'm wearing the pink shirt. How are you?
I'm here.
Finally. Where have you been?
I've been around.
Sure.
But you've been jumping.
Well,
you jump around. The day never suits me.
Not all of us are semi-retired, but nevertheless.
Nothing to do with being retired. It's a case of you organising properly.
Okay. I'll take that as a beeping on session. Yeah. But lovely to have you back.
Good one.
The schedules have been a bit up and down because we've been trying to entertain guests and fit into their schedules from around the country. But this guest has just never mind been around the country. She's been halfway around the world. But it's lovely to have Andrew back. And we really did miss you and your grumpiness, so it's glad that you're here.
Oh, good.
Thank you. We'll come back to you just now. But the lady I'm talking about in Ladies' Month, who absolutely, I don't know if she ever gets tired of hearing all the praise, because she certainly doesn't get big-headed. She certainly doesn't get arrogant. But she just takes it in her stride. Because you can't help but be proud and you can't help but really go on about her achievements. So from South Africa, KZN, all the way to Ascot in Ladies' Month. How are you, Rachel?
Well, very good, thank you.
How was that trip? I mean, how was that whole experience, for goodness sake?
Yeah, it was quite incredible. It was my first time going to the UK as well, but it's made it a little bit easier. My two sisters live across there, so got to meet up with them and got shown the ropes. But, I mean, geez, you don't get better racing than that.
How long before the race day, how far out did you know, that you were going? And there's a reason why I'm asking that. Did you have 2 weeks' notice, 2 months, a year's notice?
I think it was about 2 months. I know we got the sort of initial invites about 3 months out, and then just 100% confirmed the month before. So quite a lot of time.
So the reason why I asked that question is, how much time in that window period did you spend tapping the maestro's brain and sitting and going through the courses with Michael Roberts?
Jeez, well, luckily for me, we're always, any chance, he explains to me a couple of the courses, so I'm sure he's quite sick of me and my hundreds of thousands of questions by now, but definitely, pretty much as soon as I even heard about it, not that I haven't heard his old stories from Ascot and everything, so he's been tapped a lot of information out of him.
So did he walk you through the whole course, because it's quite a difficult course to ride?
Yes, so he had already warned me about that. We spoke quite in depth after I went and walked the whole course on foot, and I sort of figured it out as I saw it, but I had just a few more little hints from him. So yeah, he had gone through in depth everything.
Rachel, the flight path were your travels quick and easy? What was your flight path? Durban, Joburg, or did you?
Yeah, I had a great time. I went Durban to Joburg, straight onto the British Airways flight, straight to the UK. So it was very easy.
Quick
and
easy.
Returning. Yeah.
Okay. Who did you travel with? Did you travel alone?
Actual travelling, yes, I was alone. But my mum had gone a few days earlier. She's got some family there, so we met up when I got to London. Just had a few. You can't leave racing here for too long. So I said to crack on. I'll meet you there. So. Once we were there, I was with her and my two sisters for most of the time, yeah.
That's a nice smooth ride in the UK. That's
beautiful. So it was so nice meeting my sister at the airport, trying to get out of Heathrow, which was quite interesting. It's like the biggest airport I've ever seen. It took us about 25 minutes to find the right exit.
Catch the right train.
I believe it's absolute madness.
It was a nightmare, but...
That was your first time, you said, to go there.
Yeah, so at least, once I sort of half got a bearing on, I then had to figure out where London was, which was even harder.
Rach, you've ridden horses here in South Africa, and lots of them, all different shapes, sizes, training methods, etc. and then you go over there and you ride all different shapes, sizes, etc. in England. Is there a difference? Can you feel a difference between the two?
Yeah, massive difference. You know, it was the same I noticed when I rode in Saudi. The horses are different to ours. I think, you know, obviously it's the different training methods, but huge difference with those English horses. And they're so fit, and they work them. They're incredible. They're a little bit bigger, I'd say, from what I saw of them. Stronger, fitter, and just actually genuinely, most of them were quite nice rides as well.
Okay. It was quite difficult. I know when Michael came, well, he took out his training license when he was at Ashburton. He tried to train the English way. Long, slow work to get the horses built up. He had sort of initial success, and then it all faded out. And then he went, they had the farm at Barrington up in the Kalkkloof. He tried that with his track there. It doesn't seem to work in South Africa.
I believe it must be a climate kind of thing, and I think the way we race is different to overseas as well. The paces in the race were a lot harder there than they are here.
Yeah.
So I don't know, I think our horses are more sort of short twitch muscles. They must just be, that's how our breeding is. I'm still trying to figure that one out.
Yeah, but a lot of trainers, I know Herman Brown Senior, I don't think his horses galloped more than 400 meters, 2 furlongs. That was it.
Yeah, so, and I think Mr. Dry was the same.
Yes, Mr. Dry, he learned from them.
Yeah, so I think it's, you know, it's what suits you.
What suits you best,
everyone's different. That's the beauty of this game to me.
One thing I've noticed about the horses overseas is, yes, you do see the odd race where ones that are up handy might fade out and tail off, you know, but not very often, because they seem to just stay and are strong and fit, Rach.
Yeah, I think it's that, you know, that extreme sort of stamina stuff they do. That must be the answer to that.
Yeah, I think most of the training yards there have those long tracks. It's just natural turf as well. I mean, Newmarket must be amazing. You must have done work there.
Yeah, I did. I rode out for William Haggis, so it's like a completely different way of doing everything, which is I quite enjoyed it. You know, you saddle your own horse and take it to the track and, you know, you work it. But there you work. I spend most of my time on Warren Hill. Some mornings horses will go up the hill.
Must be a good hill, that Warren Hill.
Yeah, but I mean, what a beautiful centre, jeez. And just everywhere you turn, it's the whole town is like my dream because it's just horse-based. Everywhere you look, there's a horse, there's a crossing here for the horses to get to the track. It's absolutely beautiful.
So that's the town of Newmarket.
Newmarket,
okay. Yeah, pictures don't do justice. You see pictures, you see videos, it can't do justice. And
many years ago I stayed in a hotel called the Green Lion. I wonder if it's still there.
I stayed in the White Hart.
The White
Hart. The White Hart, the Green Lion.
I didn't see the Green Lion, but it probably is still there.
Yeah.
You should Google it. You should Google it out of interest. But it is beautiful. And so if you've got to, you saddle your own horse, you've got to walk it, you know, to the track, etc., to Warren Hill, and go and work there. How many horses do you get a chance to work? I mean, because that must take some time, surely.
It does take long. So my mornings, you know, I was at the stables till about 10, starting at 5. You take out 2 horses. So it's a totally different way of doing things from here. I mean, I'm getting through sort of 20 horses in the morning. Now it's like 2.
Okay. Rachel, but was that always part of your plan? Was it part of the agreement with the Shergar Cup hold scenario and Ascot that, you know, if you came over you had to go and ride work, or did you sort of just go on your own steam to do that?
Yeah, I did it on my own steam. Obviously, I corresponded with them and said, you know, I'm going to spend a few days in Newmarket, and they said that's fine. They just needed me for, I think it was 2 days before the meeting to do all our media
So you
stuff.
had some mornings that you didn't have to go and ride work. You didn't.
No, of course. I mean, I could have just laid around, but you know, the boss also said you must go to Newmarket.
Yes.
It's one of those things you have to experience.
Absolutely.
And I was lucky enough to, you know, have contacts through him with Mr. Haggis. So,
how was it to meet? How was it to meet that legend?
She's incredible, but you know, everywhere you turn, and there's the heroes that I've sort of grown up knowing. I mean, my favourite was I was obviously having to borrow someone's saddles for riding out, and next thing, Kieran Fallon rocked up at the box and said, "Oh, sorry, can I take my saddle back? I'll give you this one," and handed me another saddle. I was like, okay, no problem, take the saddle. Yeah, so I mean, it's totally normal for all of them. So
sure.
Really incredible.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, but I don't know, the English way of racing, that I'm not sort of hero worship them, but they're household names, those jocks. I mean,
But Andrew, you know, you use the word hero worship, and that's something that everyone's got to understand. and I say it respectfully, is that, if you're a soccer fan, I don't know anything about soccer, Ronaldo. If you're a soccer fan and you don't worship's the wrong word, you look up to Ronaldo. You're a golfer and Gary Player, whatever the case may be. The racing industry has those people too.
Yeah.
And they need to realize that. So when you go and approach them and you go and talk to them, you need to be receptive to the public,
but I think
somebody's
England,
looking up to that person.
I think the English public are more attuned to their racing. So, I mean, a bloke off the street would know who Ryan Moore is.
Correct.
If Ryan Moore walked down the street, they would know who he was.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, they know Rachel when she walks down the street.
Oh, for
I
sure.
think it's the white hair.
But that's the point I'm making, is you're quite right that the racing people in England and in Hong Kong and around the world are looked up to. Worship's the wrong word. They're looked up to and respected. But, so are they in South Africa too, and it's good because everybody has their following.
How was the English press?
Actually lovely.
Very nice.
There was a lot of it. I think we had the full day on Thursday was media stuff. But enjoyable, and they've got quite up to date with sort of the fun sort of TikTok things, playing the games and the questions and funny things. So I actually really enjoyed it.
You better talk to our social media team and find out a few new ideas. That sounds exciting, because TikTok apparently is the way to go now.
Yeah, I've only ever used it for watching funny videos, and now we were making them. So it's fascinating seeing how they do it.
Yeah. And the thing is with the media and obviously Hong Kong and Mauritius, all those places, it's a non-negotiable. The media approaches you, that's it. But also, I think everyone realizes that it's sort of promoting. It's free advertising and free promotion for yourself. You're your own brand, Rachel Venniker Racing. So you would be silly not to want to go and be with the media, because you're just getting that exposure.
Yeah, but I think the media in this country is so contracted. I mean, there's only a few people left there. We're in England, and like in Australia, I remember when David Payne went over there the first time. He just said his first advice was, don't shunt the media, because they will screw you. So you've got to be nice to them. If they phone you at 10 o'clock at night, you speak to them.
Yeah, absolutely. But just going back to the horses, the quality of the horses, and the way you found different strengths and different types of animals. Pedigrees, we've got in South Africa great pedigrees. We've got top stallions, we've got top horses, we know all that. But talking of pedigrees, when you go to England, it's sort of to the next level. This is like a special kind of special. And every single horse that you look around, you talk about top trainers and top jockeys all around you. Well, every horse you look at is bred top quality. I mean, they've got stallions coming out of the ears, mares coming out of the ears. I think that pays tribute to also how great their horses are.
Yeah, it must do. I found it amazing, because there's also stallions now I've watched as a kid.
Yes.
And seeing them now top horses, and I'm riding their progeny. It's absolutely incredible.
And Rachel, the actual races, I mean, you won the first one. That must have given you a boost.
Yeah, it did. I must say, I don't get nervous, but I was a little bit apprehensive and thought, geez, I've heard that it's a very difficult course. And to win the first like that, I thought, okay, it's actually, I'd figured it out in my mind before, but now actually putting it into practice, you always think, is there something I haven't thought about? But I think it's one of the most beautiful courses I've ridden on. I thoroughly enjoyed riding on it. And I quite enjoy the hills, the up and down. I don't know, it's obviously, coming from the normal horse riding background, I sort of understand the hills.
Yes.
I thought it was probably one of the funnest things I've done.
When the camera panned across onto the grandstand, I mean, phew, the flowers and the beautiful flowers overflowing on the balconies and just everything about it. I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
Yeah, well, it's Royal Ascot, owned by the King.
Yeah, I mean, when you stand in that parade and you look up, it must take your breath away.
It really does, and it's massive. It's like Heathrow Airport. When I got there, I looked. I said, I feel like I'm going to be jumping on a plane now.
Yeah,
that winner.
And when you won the race, were the crowd behind you?
Yeah, they were great. They were wow.
half of South
I
Africa
got a
there.
nice flag to put around me. So it was really goosebump stuff.
Yeah.
William Knight was your trainer, and the horse was called Holcomb Bay in the yellow colours, if my memory serves me correct, because the complex where I live didn't know about racing and Rachel Venniker, they knew after Holcomb Bay. In fact, they knew about 50 meters or 100 meters out. They knew about Holcomb Bay and Rachel
I
Venniker.
made a complete clown of myself because she rode in the same colours. They were the team colours.
Yes.
Yeah, and I said to Lance Benson, I said, "Jeez, Rachel's riding in the same colours." Oh, he said, "You bloody half-wit." Team colours.
Also, you had your name on your colours,
Yes,
didn't you?
so
That was quite
cool,
nice. That
yeah.
was quite cool. Yeah, absolutely. But anyway, Holcomb Bay, William Knight cantered up to them and won well. That was a really good win. But that wasn't, your only success. You had a short head second. That was desperately close. The neighbours heard about Rachel then too, and when she ran second.
I think it was the short-head third that.
It was a short-head third. You
the
got,
last race.
Correct. You couldn't move for a couple of couple of strides. You were literally motionless in the saddle. You had nowhere to go.
Yeah, and then, that's how the course rides. You've got to just sit patiently and wait. And as the splits open, you just slide it through them.
Yes.
Yeah, so it actually ended up, I never had to hesitate much because we were still building up and just waiting for the gaps to open.
And what's it like riding without a false rail?
I must say, not actually fine. You just got to be awake. As long as you're awake, it's such a wide course that the horses do tend to move apart. You can find a little space to get through. And we all know I don't mind taking a tight gap.
Jane Chapelheim was the trainer you rode for with that short head second. Lovely chatting to Michael Roberts, and she was quite impressed with you.
Yes, so she was very happy with the way the horse ran. It was his first time stepping up in distance as well. So she was lovely to ride for, and she was happy.
William Knight, what's he like? I mean, does he show a lot of emotion? Was he, what was he like to deal with?
He was lovely, also very easy, gave me simple instructions, and he was very, very happy afterwards, and so was I.
Besides, not that we had a name drop, but the question is, who did you meet? Mention to the public some of the names the people that you met. You've touched on Jane Chapelheim, William Haggis, but Kieran Fallon. Were there others, other greats that you met?
Yeah, well, I mean, I rode alongside Haley Turner, so I mean that's incredible. There were plenty. I can't even think of them off the top of my head at the moment.
And Ryan Moore was
unfortunately, I didn't see him this trip.
Okay,
so I think he was in. I think they were racing in France the following day, if I'm not mistaken.
No, but she beat him in Saudi.
Correct.
And I got to
right.
speak to him there. So that was like a life goal ticked off as well.
And Rach, your team. Who was on your team?
I had. So we were the rest of the world. It was myself, Rachel King from Australia, and Nako Fujita from Japan.
Okay.
And then the other ladies' team. So although we were separate teams, we were all quite happy together anyway. Because it was Haley Turner, Marie Vallon from France, and Joanna Mason in English.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
And then the end result was great. Well, so great. You would have obviously liked to have won it, but the deciding factor was that the two winners.
The short-head third.
Yeah. So it was a little bit. I was a little bit disappointed because you now go back in your mind and think, well, if I had have run second instead of third, or third instead of fourth, it could have all been different. Yeah. But being beaten by Haley Turner, not a bad thing.
Not a bad thing, but also too, you don't want to be too hard on yourself, because I know you're a perfectionist and you want to achieve. But I mean, that was, even if you'd gone there and didn't have a winner, and you didn't even place, I mean, that is an achievement on its own. So the fact that you won, you placed, yes, you didn't win overall, but you were close. You can't be happy, you can't be unhappy, because we, the country, are bursting with pride. So that was really a good achievement. So well done.
Thank you.
You understand what I'm saying? It's stiff not to get the whole line.
The silver saddle.
I understand. But
I want to know about Billy
Loughlin.
Yes, tell us about him.
He's lovely. Obviously he's still young, 18, but very nice, and rode beautifully on the day as well. He had a winner. He was. I didn't get too much time to chat to him, but from the small interaction we had, he seemed very like a good person.
My cousin said
he's a good rider.
My cousin spotted him a long time ago, and he follows all over the world racing. And he said, "This Billy Loughlin, he must have social media. I'm going to send him a message and congratulate him." Anyway, he did that. He did have social media, and he did congratulate. And he said to me about 2 weeks later, he said, he didn't reply. I said, now, how many messages do you think this young chap must get from around the world? Everybody is saying, you're a good rider, well done. I'm not saying that I agree, you should try and, if you're on social media, you should try and get an assistant or somebody to reply.
The problem with the social media, I've got someone who helps me with mine, a long-time friend who does it as her business.
Yes.
The abuse we get, the messages, they are horrific. So I told her, don't even go into the messenger. I don't even go into the messenger. You don't want to see some of the things we've been sent.
Well, I'm glad that you
especially when you get beaten.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
No. The ones when you win are great. You don't mind seeing those, but there's some horrific stuff, especially if you get beaten on a favourite. And just because it's favourite doesn't mean it's going to
can't lose.
And sometimes you give it every opportunity and it doesn't win.
Yes.
And that's when you start getting...
Yeah. Rachel, I'm glad that you mentioned that, because not that we like to talk about negativity, but it's something that's certainly alive and out there. And Andrew and I have said in our podcasts over the years, when we've encouraged the public to comment, etc., that we won't entertain negativity, hate speech, and all the rest of it. And it does. I don't know about you don't check much, but we all get it. We all get it in the media and the racing industry. And I think it is absolutely disgusting that gives somebody the right to send horrific messages to other human beings. I mean, I just don't know what gives them the right. And it's a big thing. And I know you've battled with that. I mean, it hasn't been nice. And how do you handle it? Because I sometimes, and my friends and my other colleagues that are in the industry, some battle to handle it.
Yeah, I'd say I've always just told my friends and my family, just leave it. It doesn't interfere with me. I really don't worry about it, because I know what my side of the deal is. Correct. And what I need to do. Correct. And I do sometimes, I must say, I do go look at them and have a good laugh, because I'm quite thick-skinned like that. It doesn't faze me, but I'm sure it would, because I've got messages, and I save all of them just in case. Yes. The ones I do see. Correct. Where I've been told they hope I break my neck and I die, and I'm the most awful jockey they've ever seen. The funniest one I think I got was someone who told me that I belong in the kitchen. But actually, you're probably also a terrible cook.
Gosh, you see, I get really upset. I get riled up. I've been banned. I've been banned from commenting and replying. But if somebody oversteps the mark, I don't care. It's
listen, if you're in the public eye, you're going to get that all the time. So
you do, Andrew, but it still doesn't make it right.
I don't make it right.
You do get it, but it still doesn't make it. It's not right. That's somebody's daughter you're talking to, somebody's son you're talking to.
It's not just getting riled up about it.
No, it's not. But anyway, but I'm glad that you mentioned it, because it's not nice, and I'm sorry that you have to endure those things. But and you must just think of the person that's writing those hateful comments. What kind of a person they must be, because anyway.
They must have a much worse life than I do if they can say stuff like
that. Correct. But anyway, now talking about social media, let's talk about social events. Did they put on overseas at Ascot? Did you go out to function, lunch, dinners, or was there social events?
Yeah, there was. So the night before we were all invited to, it was a golf day. I declined the invite to play golf. I'm not very good.
Because you should be in the kitchen, as you've just said.
Oh, well, apparently. Which, quite frankly, I prefer to playing golf. So we had a lovely dinner afterwards, which I was fine with the dinner. That was very nice. And after the race meeting, they had a concert, and my sister forced me to go. Okay. She loved it. I don't know if you know the Sugar Babies.
No,
I don't know them.
The Sugar
Apparently
Babies.
They're quite famous and renowned.
Oh, okay. I don't know the Sugar Babies.
So we stayed for that for a bit, and then I was quite tired. So she enjoyed it, and then I was quite happy. Yeah. But it was beautifully put together, and they had all the big stage, and the people seemed to be loving it, so it was really good.
Yeah, but in South Africa what happened, they get the big band in, but it plays after the races. No one's at the races, and they all arrive for the band.
At least it looked like most of the people from the races went straight to the band.
And on a private scale with your family, I mean, what was you did a bit of sightseeing, you posted some beautiful things on your social media. What was your most enjoyable, not racing, I mean, what did you enjoy in your own personal capacity? Which part did you enjoy?
We went to Cheveley Stud.
Okay.
I'm very much a horse person. I mean, we did the whole London. We did walking around. I think I walked 32 kilometers or something. So I was a little bit like, I'm tired now. Can we go home? We went on the London Eye, which was horrific for me because I've got vertigo. So halfway around the thing, I had to lie on the floor. My mum was like, "Can you not just sit?" So I was like, "No, I feel terrible." So I think I embarrassed my family.
I know the feeling. I hated it.
Oh, I couldn't. But yeah, we did a lot of beautiful things. And I loved, we went around Windsor as well, so all of that was beautiful.
You even had a fan that was at the World Pool Gold Cup, Michael Moroney from Ireland, who you met. And as you crossed the line for your first victory, he was all over social media, sent me a message. And it was nice because, you know, even to make a connection and a relationship with somebody in a country where one day you might go.
Yeah, you never know. So it's always fantastic.
The Governor Michael Roberts, I bumped into him at the races the day after. And I said, now come here, Michael, and tell me this. I said, I know you're proud, but how proud? He said, no words to explain. And yeah, I mean, to hear him talking about you and your achievements must really humble you.
Yeah, it really does. You know, geez, when I was, actually popped up on my Facebook as a memory this morning, my first work rider winner was actually on this day, I think 4 or 5 years ago.
Okay.
So it gave me a little bit of time to look and think, you know, riding that winner, what I've gone through to get here, and with his help and his assistance, and for him to say that afterwards, it's just, I mean, no words.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But I also noticed that, I mean, you've ridden over 250 something.
I think I'm at 268.
268, okay. And some of the girls who are riding have just cracked 50 or just over. In your team.
Yeah, so I mean, everyone I'm grateful for, and I remember the first, I remember most of the horses I won on. Everyone is such a blessing to me for something I fought to get. You know, every now and again I stop and look back and just think, geez, I am so lucky.
Well, tell me about Saudi, that's what I want to know.
Oh, yes.
How did you get to Saudi?
That actually, these questions people ask me, like how I got invited to the Sugar Cup. I don't actually know. I just know I got an email and I said yes. So yeah, Saudi, you know, I'm sure there's a few contacts here who have contacts in Saudi, and they sort of suggested me, and I think that's how it came through. But I don't think I'm the right person to ask because I was just the yes at the end of the line.
Yeah.
Yeah, very excited to go.
Yeah, but I mean, you're riding against the world's top riders, eh?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, Saudi was incredible. I mean, when they told me that Ryan Moore was on the opposing, or he was one of the riders, I was like, are you joking, really? I'm going to get to meet him. Not only that, I'm going to ride alongside him.
Yeah.
I mean, it was incredible.
Yeah.
There was one lady that you spent some time with in England who is a great friend of ours and a great friend of South Africa and a great friend of the South African racing industry, Judy Wilson.
Yeah.
You're related to Judy, is that right?
Yes, so it gets quite complex.
Okay, distantly related.
Well, no, she was my dad's first wife, so she's the mother of my 3 sisters.
Okay.
My dad then married my mother, but we've been brought up as sisters, so I always just call them my sisters.
Oh, wonderful.
Does
Judy live in the UK now?
She's
She
relocated,
does, yes.
yeah.
Oh,
Just a wonderful human being.
She was good at the jockey
She
club,
was
I
great
tell
at
you.
her job, she was great at everything, Judy.
I call her my ex-stepmom. But yeah, no, so it was lovely having her there because she also, she
took you
she knew
around.
everything. Yeah, so it was fun. Yeah.
She said, everybody looked so well dressed in their hats and their lovely fare. It was just great to see. And we miss you, Julie, and it was lovely to see you in South Africa not so long ago. Talking about proud people, your parents, of course, your family, but one person who I'd like to give a bit more time to is your sponsor, Nick Johnson. Johnson Workwear, as we can see on your coat. I mean, what was his feedback?
He was also very happy. Sent me a very nice message afterwards. He wished me luck for Ascot because he's got I think he's got 2 horses now with William Haggis.
Yes.
So I got to meet them and send him some photos.
Okay,
they're just like my
fantastic.
horses. Yeah, they'll all eat carrots. So I was very excited. So yeah, no, awesome. He was proud, and I'm just happy to be trying to fly the flag and make everyone proud.
Yeah. We're in the home straight now, Rach. 2 more questions. First one is, where else, if I said to you, you've got 2 countries to choose, I mean, where else in the world would you like to go? Your list is getting quite long already, but where would you really like to go to? Not that you didn't want to go to these places, but where's next? Where would next be nice?
Japan is on the bucket list. I've always followed their racing. I love it. I don't know, there's something about their country that I've always just had a bit of a love for. So hopefully that will come to fruition. There, Hong Kong maybe.
Okay.
Then we start finding everywhere else.
Okay.
Well, if you ever get to Japan, my nephew lives there, so he can help you out.
I love it.
So Japan and Hong Kong, those are lovely spots. Okay. Last thing to talk about is the Hollywoodbets Durban July. Now back on home soil.
Right.
And I know when up here we said, let's talk about that, you said, well, that's water under the bridge. I'm looking forward to winning the July, hopefully next year. But that was your first ride in the Hollywoodbets Durban July. How was that?
Incredible. Obviously spent quite a long time waiting for it. And the best part for me was cantering down, hearing the crowd screaming, and that it actually gave me goosebumps cantering down. I thought at least my horse was quite well behaved, because I was sort of taken aback by the atmosphere there. I mean, we're not really used to massive crowds, so that was incredible. And the actual race, I was very happy. I was only beaten, I think, 5 lengths. Horse ran a very, very good race. So, it can only improve from there.
Yeah. Was it a bit rough?
It was. So it started off quite well. I think it was just there sort of through the 1200 that there was a bit of chaos, as unfortunately a Schumacher bled and fell back on us. Then we were all popping out quite interestingly. But at least we recovered, and he still ran it. He actually ran on, because I thought he could have had that as an excuse, especially with the interference. But he still ran a very nice race.
Would you consider yourself an adrenaline junkie?
Oh, most definitely.
Because why I'm thinking, why I just thought of that is because you're in the race and it's a bit rough, and Andrew asked you the question, was it a bit rough, and you just answered it yeah, it was rough and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, I do. I like the rougher races, the better. I go skydiving. I do all of these. I've actually got a little thing every birthday.
You're vertigo, but you do skydiving.
I mean, it just doesn't make sense, does it? But I think it's because it scares me. I like doing it. Yeah.
So you are a bit of a obviously safety is of the utmost importance. Nobody's reckless. You want to be, but a little bit of excitement in the race.
As long as you don't get 7 days, it's fine.
No, exactly. And I mean, within reason.
Absolutely, within reason. You want to ride safely.
I think the whole race in general is probably quite an adrenaline.
Correct. But the Hollywoodbets Durban July sometimes does serve up a bit of a rough.
It's always rough.
It's known to be rough. So
a lot of money on the line. That's
correct. Yeah, absolutely. So as long as everybody's safe, but adrenaline junkie is our Rachel. Rach, all that's really left for us is to say thank you for being such a wonderful ambassador, South African ambassador of the Jockey Academy, ambassador of everything here in South Africa. And it's just great to talk to you. And as I said at the beginning of the show, no attitude, no arrogance, and it's great. No matter what success Rachel gets, she just takes it in her stride, and you can hear by chatting to her that she's just a humble, wonderful human being. And well done, and we're proud of you.
Thank you so much.
Yep, and for those that send those terrible messages on Facebook to our dear lady rider, no, it's just not right. No matter what happens, win, lose or draw, it's just not right. But that's for another debate. From all of us here at the In the Box Seat podcast, lovely to have Andrew back. No news or anything quickly before we wrap up. Everything good? You happy?
I'm happy.
Season's come and gone. New season start.
Fishing is going to build up now.
I went fishing. Did I tell you? I sent you them. I went fishing the other day.
But you caught a thing about this big.
Okay, well, you need to say, can you edit that out, please? But I did catch a fish, first time ever, and it was great fun. But I got not terribly seasick. Eventually I got a little seasick, but it was great fun off the coast of KwaZulu-Natal, Durban. But that's it. Plenty of racing action. Never stops. Thank God it never stops, because we love our racing. And over the weekend, there's plenty. Every day, 7 days a week, except Mondays. On the odd occasion, we race on a Monday. But from all of us at the In the Box Seat podcast, we wish you and your family all the very best. And we'll see you, as always, remembering to be kind to one another, into the number 1 box.